This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your live market chat. Was it Monday? Man, January 22nd, 2024. Hopefully you're doing great. Interesting week. Took off Thursday and Friday, which ended up being some monster rippers in the market. Surprised? Yes. Really? Yeah, really, yes. I'm not. It's been honestly like a really choppy, sloppy market, but I'm not also surprised by the action near term, as you guys know. I mean, it's interesting to me because, again, knowing so many people that I do and the connections that I have, I mean, people see what's going on and things are slowing incredibly quickly, but that's kind of what you see at tops and bottoms and traps and all sorts of games. I mean, liquidity's come into the market, but then market has also slowed, like the economy. And so near term, your guess is as good as mine. This is why you define your risk. You know, when we go long at the bottoms, people are like, oh, you're crazy, the world's ending and things are going to be this. And it's like, it's no different. It's literally no different at highs if you're shorting. Now, again, we've made new highs, so it's hard to really short at these levels unless you want to pick certain names, because that's the thing. The market as a whole isn't well, right? Like, it's a few names leading up. So you just got to be careful. I mean, in the end, always define your risk. You know, you follow anybody, and I'll tell you this for a fact. Like, even when the people I followed and started learning to trade from, I mean, I said the same things to them. Are they sworn the same things? Like, there's going to be times where you're just wrong. And if you can't wrap your head about being wrong and you're always trying to be right, be careful. I mean, you just got to be careful. It just doesn't work like that. So anyway, let me know how I can help. Use the link. Let's drop in the Calendly link. Where are you, Calendly? If you ever want to schedule a few minutes to chat, let me pop that up. Please don't hesitate. Let me drop that in there real quick, because I think a lot of people, again, I mean, at the highs and the craziness, people will ignore it, and then at the lows, they'll just be like, the world's ending, and it's just never that simple. It's never that simple. So if you're new to the channel, want to join the Discord room, check it out. I'll drop that link. Give me 2 seconds to that. Let's just do a little invite. Come on in. And ask questions. I love this format because it's more of a free flowing kind of thing. And so, that's the calendar. I don't need the Calendly link. Let's try this again. Copied. Paste. Delivered. Okay. So what do we know about the market right now? It's like, again, we're in like blow off AI semi, just endless bullishness, right? AMD gets a downgrade. They're buying the dip. It got down to 164. I mean, wide range, wide and loose. Taiwan semi, same thing, wide and loose. I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, Bitcoin, not looking good. Oil, all over the place, right? I mean, it's hard. It's very hard, right? Good luck with that. Natural gas, we talked about being the widowmaker, just popping, chopping. KOLD now back up near 110. That's probably trade. Again, posting what I see on Twitter. I mean, it's pretty, again, I wish, again, at the lows, remember when the market bottoms, they'll be better. Here you go. Here's the housing surge. Chinese stocks are flat. Jolts numbers. I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling what's going on right now. And so I just said be careful. I'm trying to like think of like some sort of magical words, and it's just be careful. That's all I can say. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Come on, there you go. Tons of stuff. Now you got the start of earnings. You got some economic data this week. Just be careful. I mean, I've seen this a million times, and it's like you don't know for sure at this point. Remember we talked about KOLD taking profits down in this area. Here you go. Sorry, that was just the first thing on my chart. Dollar. I mean, the dollars have been slowly holding up. Oh, yeah. Did I stop out of Meta? I mean, yes, of course. I mean, that's the thing. Define your risk. We talked about it. Shorting up here, then stopping out. Yeah, absolutely. I actually took some profits, too, on some of the trade down on the drop. So it wasn't some sort of big monster winner, but it taking a gain and stop out. I mean, Taiwan semi, we talked about being careful during earnings. I mean, I think still this is like the epic short of the year. But hopefully if you hedge going into earnings, you're not looking so bad. Again, NVIDIA, do you really expect it to go much higher? I don't know. It's getting to be pretty silly. What's that trend line from? That's got to be an old one. Yeah, sadly when e-signal adds splits, the lines don't like retrace, so sometimes I have to clean that up. So Doji again, I mean a lot of dojis up here. AMD again, talking about the big downgrade. Be careful. No, I mean that's the thing. If you told me again, and this is the thing, we talked like MicroStrategy, right? And roadblocks. I mean, hitting resistance, failing, right? Here's your support near term. People are like, well, why would you short tech? And it's like, it's got the best risk reward at this point. But then people like freak out and they're like, well, it never works. And it's like, I mean, you got to trade around your positions. It's not easy. But if you gave me 10 out of 10 opportunities with certain price levels and being careful, I mean, obviously those are the easiest choices to me. I mean, what's AMD trading at? 1,600 times future earnings? I mean, we talked about Meta. I mean, Zuckerberg, the last time he sold this much stock was up in here. He's unloading again. Why? Buy his bunker in Hawaii, I guess? I don't know. Your guess is good as mine is near term. I mean, Tesla, this is what it said. It's like a very divergent market. Like Tesla's just been acting like crap now again. People might say that's because of Elon, what he's doing. Okay, right? Guggenheim. I mean, I can just wrap through all these, holding up. But look at today's action. I mean, this is what's so hard. If you traded in the 90s and you saw the tech bubble, you saw monster moves, 10% a day moves sometimes in some of these stocks. And you're getting some of that here and there in some of these names. I'm not surprised. Gold, same thing. It's like the Feds haven't announced a pivot yet. I see unemployment rising. I see the housing stuff. Again, I was in Florida for like 5 days, and a good friend of mine who's a member of Discord, we were talking about it. He's like, I haven't seen this many houses listed for sale in a long time. And it's like, man, this isn't the time to sell in Florida. Yeah, SMCI. I mean, some of these names just like, what? Again, I'm not trolling people who are, again, because again, I've been right on some things, and this is the thing. It's not a all or nothing thing, right? We talked about miners, leave them alone, right? Talked about KOLD. We talked about shorting this up into like 115 to 120 area or whatever it was, taking profits down here. We said oil and gas, be careful. Don't trust them. Ag names, don't trust them. Talked about Airbnb being like a really interesting, like choppy, wild trade. I mean, look at that today. If you shorted up here, took profits, I mean, you had double time, and now you could probably reload right here if you wanted to. Right? Starbucks, we talked about this, a global growth name, just stuck. Right? XLF, I mean, I was watching it this morning and was like, you got to be kidding me. Is this a novice gap trap? Look at this candle. We'll see if it holds up. We'll see. What's your question? At some point, it's a bear market. People trade like commodity. What time will I admit I've given out bad advice? Okay, well, it sounds like you're here to make a point. So what do you want to say? You've been short tech, semis, meta for the past year. Is that a bear market? Semis will trade like commodities. Semis will trade like commodities. At what point will you admit you were wrong? Giving out bad advice. Again, if you didn't define your risk, yeah, I mean, this is what's hard here. It's like AI is pricing in at a level that doesn't make sense to me. But here's the thing. What's right, what's wrong? We traded around it. For to say that we've been short or long, short the whole time, okay. I mean, again, I don't know what your reference is. But yeah, I mean, being wrong on stocks, I mean, that's the thing. You have to like move on. All right? Like if you're wrong, that's fine. And I'll come back to trades. And that's the thing. It's the nature of the beast. But do you want to buy dips at the lows? Okay. Do you want to short the highs? It's the same kind of game. Flip the fucking charts upside down and you see. So, but if you want to continue to buy shares and hold Meta as Zuckerberg's unloading as fast as he can, that's your choice. That's your choice. So again, and that's the thing. We talked about commodities, certain things playing certain ways, certain trades working pretty well. Again, it's been a trader's market. I think that's the irony here, is that a lot of people who are coming out, again, Brandon, whatever, Mike, if you guys want to play the game, is this, we know the S&P 500 is being led by literally a couple dozen names. So pick and choose your battles, right? But maybe this is, again, why this is so hard, is that if you pick a top, don't sit there and not put a stop. It's no different than buying a dip, buying the lows. Right? Like if you want to buy something low, do you just not put a stop? I don't know what to tell you. So if you want to like say, oh, you were wrong. Okay, well, we said lay off Tesla. We talked about it many times, like zooming out. Hey, oh, where's the big trend line? Why are all these charts all funky? That one's missing a trend line. Yeah, for some reason that one's gone. What other names? I mean, do you want me to pull out the names I was right about? Because again, I don't really want to play the gotcha game. If you don't like what I'm saying about tech being overpriced because you've never seen a tech bubble, you've never seen the SMH get absolutely murdered, you've never seen AMD ride the cycles, then that's fine. Like you've never seen the AMD cycle bus. Big pops, flop. Big pops, flops. Big pops, flops. Okay. Again, I mean, it's your guess as good as mine in the end. It's a probability-based game, right? You can get pocket aces, Brandon, and you can still lose, right? That's just the nature of the game. You tell them, again, it's always easy to be 2020 is perfect history, right? Like, I like this area. Filling the gap, it made sense to me to short, right? Made sense to short this area again. You do what has worked in the past, and if it doesn't work, you don't go, well, I'm just going to start all over and just pretend that I have to just redo the strategies. No, it's just define your risk. It's the same shit over and over and over and over and over again, right? Like we talked about this short, like, again, great trade. Did you expect it to rip up? No. Didn't re-short it. Sometimes you miss them, right? I mean, your guess is good as mine, ultimately at times, based on what's going to happen in the near term. Because we don't know sometimes short term. And sometimes we're wrong long term. Like, that's the nature of the beast. But, you know, again, as someone who's traded gold and silver, I've been given, like, telling people, like, lay off this stuff. It's going nowhere till the Feds pivot. Same thing. I mean, and here's the thing. So, the thing with straight lines are priced in, they go on for a while. They stop. No, but straight line moves 2 years old and straight line down. Yeah, straight line moves up and down. Straight line at the end. We talk about this all the time. Thanks, Eric, for chiming in. I'm glad you're here, bud. At the highs, straight line move is the top. At the lows, the straight line move is the bottom. It's no damn different. Yet someone's going to come out here and try to say, oh, well, you're just wrong. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be wrong about that stuff. It's just the nature of the beast. I wish to tell you always that we could be right. If you're looking for certainty, don't trade. That's just not how it works. So if Brandon or Mike, you have anything else to say, please feel free to chime in. I don't mind. I really don't mind criticism. And again, it's like, I guarantee there's times when like you probably got smoked out staying long things when we were short stuff prior years or prior cycles. I mean, again, every year is not the same. Jay Solstice is looking at AT&T. 17, someone's buying the 17.5 strikes. Post div. Yeah, it's tough. I don't really like AT&T. as a stock, but I mean, has it gotten so cheap it's a buyout target? I don't know. Go check out some monthlies. Yeah, it seems to be the 20-month has been chopping, slopping, topping. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. I don't know near term on that one. Seems to be trading in a downward trending channel. Yeah, I mean, maybe some upside. That's your call. Yeah, no, trades will be wrong. It's how you handle them. It's a key. If you let the wrong run, then maybe, but yeah. I mean, it's all the nature in trading. Like, I mean, it's funny because they're not funny. It's just sad. Like, I get folks who will be like, tell me about Peloton. We talked about dumping this thing. And then they'll be like, well, I'm going to hold forever. And they think every stock is, like a NVIDIA or like an Amazon, or Apple, Meta. I mean, you got to be careful. Just the nature of the beast. I don't know. I mean, again, if you have problems with what I'm saying or doing, that's fine. I mean, I really, like I said, in the end, I'm just trying to be completely transparent. And you, me, we're all going to be wrong. Again, that's just the nature of the beast. If you're looking for certainty, you're looking for, again, people say, well, why are you fighting the market? And it's like, again, I go back to this over and over again. The IWM is down 20% off the highs. Not good. Still lagging. China stocks murdered. People in China just stopped paying their debt. Europe, Germany, slowing. Unemployment rising. Feds have never navigated a soft landing. We'll see again, and that's the thing. Could they pump, because PBC Troy got a good point, like could they pump liquidity in endlessly going into election? That's the biggest thing holding the markets up. We know the M2 money supply has fallen off a cliff. We know they're trying to reduce their balance sheet as fast as they can. All factors into play that go, well, you know what? It just is what it is. Right? I mean, how many good trades have we put on Apple this year? Amazingly good trades. Shorted up here, take some profits on here. You got the retest. Now today, I mean, it feels a little blow-offish near term. We'll see. I mean, going into earnings, be careful, right? If you need to just take the trade, you're gone. You meaning like take the profits and run. I mean, again, monkeys. Again, I don't know. I mean, this is the thing. Like I've had the same battle with the same few folks who just look for the market and they want certainty. They just want it. They just want it. They want someone to tell them what's going to happen all the time, or they want to be fed trades that don't lose. And it's like, that's not the nature of the beast, right? Because look at if you shorted XLF, right, near the highs. And then today's action, you're just like, oh God, what do I do? If you're trying to get in near the highs and you layer in, you're looking at this going, all right, I might give it a day if I want to add. Like that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give it a little bit. I don't want to short new market highs. If it turns right around, got it. No problem. No problem. Pick and choose your battles, y'all. I don't know when the liquidity will end because, again, this is the thing. I mean, China, it's no man's land. We know what's going on in Europe's a mess. Again, I mean, I showed you guys. When's the last time I showed this? But price drop. The house next to me, 2 doors down with a finished basement. At one point, probably sold in June 2022, 2023. Between that, there's somewhere between $1 million plus. Listed for $815, sold at $815. I mean, now again, and just being in Florida for the last 5 days, driving around looking at real estate, houses for sale everywhere. I mean, again, we'll see how that works out. I mean, we do know for a fact, inflation is sticky, right? Oil prices have come down. That's great. But typically oil prices come down in a recession. Typically oil prices come down due to demand destruction. Look at Saudi Arabia dropping their prices. Now, again, I don't know day to day what to expect other than I think at some point the seasonality, you blow off. Like we talked about the SPY being the most overbought I've ever seen it. But it doesn't mean I'm going to just say, well, I'm going to short endlessly. No, like 3 strikes, you're out. I mean, you've got to have your own disciplines. Because there's going to be times, and so this is the thing, like no different than at the lows, right? If you ever trade, not ever, but if you did trade 2008, 2009, and you were like trying to pick bottoms, which again, we know how this goes. It was a choppy bottom, and then you had one more blow off, straight line move. And people say, well, I'm just going to wait. You went from 67 up to 96. That's just the nature of the beast, straight line moves. No, let's completely honest. I agree. I mean, it's all for the headlines, right? It's all for the gram. It's all for the headlines. So no one's going to disagree with what you just said, my friend, at all. Hold on 1 second. Will it hold up into Election Day? And this is another thing that I've talked about in my mind. I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that this is going to be the wildest election we've ever seen. I mean, you got again, I don't see how Biden makes it to Election Day. I really don't. But maybe Big Mike comes in next, takes over. And even if not, I think again, the mail-in balloting, all these issues that, again, you need an ID to vote. All the, just all the people, sadly crossing the border, not registering. Again, I don't know how this all ends. But every iteration of the, elections just seems to get wilder and wilder and wilder. We know it's Trump. Like Trump's gonna be, and again, they'll try to get him out. And then we know the Democrats have, again, their approval ratings is absolute poop. Just is what it is. We'll see. Again, we'll see. Look at some of these names we talked about. Like, remember that was a good trade down here. We talked about, again, like commodities, laying off them. People don't realize, like, money doesn't get destroyed. It rotates. Well, if they create all this money and it destroys out of tech at some point, where's it going? It's got to go to commodities at some point. And that's where we said, be patient, no rush, wait for the feds to pivot. Because, again, the feds pivoting is typically when commodities bottom. Because after they pivot, then they're what? They're going easy liquidity. And again, PVC, some of us would agree. I mean, there's definitely been liquidity being pumped in the hold of the market. So if you have any specific questions, if not, let's just go through some charts. I mean, it's just, I wish it was easy. As again, traderflorida.net had a really good saying, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better, wish you were smarter. That's all you can do. Study, learn. XOP back testing trend line. Talked about this having no love, just being stuck. We talked about solar names again being absolute trash. Again, all these folks will come in here and go, "Oh, you failed." No, we've had some really good other trades, but maybe all you see is the tech. That's fine. Shorting solar, brutal. This stuff has been absolute dog snot. Looking at, again, gold and silver. You got the Fed meeting on the 31st. I guess that's next Wednesday. Again, does anyone remember picking the bottom down here? No, they probably don't. Oh, sorry. That was, this bottom right here. My bad. It was just October of both years. Talked about it could hold down here. I think actually, I'm trying to remember. Did we ride that? I don't know. I don't have my journal in front of me, like recording back that far. I guess I could look it up if I wanted, but it's not that big a deal. NDAQ, another one. Right? Another one. I mean, Tesla was actually recommended short. If you go watch the videos in September, November, whatever, 2021, it's game over up here. We talked about it. We talked about this being a short. Talked about this being a short up here. I mean, it's just, again, some of these are easier. Some are one touch and flop. Some of them are not. Financials had some good shorts. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. I don't know what to tell you. Again, if you're basing the resume on shorting tech, I don't think anyone's been a winner, obviously. Nobody. Oh, definitely like ag names, but just saying, lay off of these. Let's lay off of these, right? Once they broke, when we talked about up here, is gone. Just leave it, let it come on down. Costco, that was a loser. Thought that one. Again, they're pumping the China narrative, but it's like, all right, here you go. Here's the volume at the highs. Talked about the pullback post ex-div. It is what it is. Stock, pickers, market. But then again, tech holding up. I mean, I'm trying to think of like how the best to say this other than at some point, I mean, again, run the valuations to the median amounts of typical S&P holdings, to outperformance, to, I mean, whatever you want to describe it as. But what? Like, what's the metric? I mean, I've never seen it more overbought. So if Mike, Brandon, again, I mean, if you guys want to talk about it, I mean, just go check the positioning, the spec positioning. It's out of control. But can it stay out of control? I mean, that's the question, right? What is going on? Right? Look at that. Apple and Microsoft are worth more than the whole Nikkei economy. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts. Look at tech. Right? Spec positioning. We'll see how long it lasts. Let's go into the CME watch tool to check where we're at. So obviously, there's no cut coming. Let's see what's up in March. I mean, it's all over the place. Yeah, now it's 40%. Remember, this was down. It's up at 70 at one point. No cut. No problem. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Again, I mean, we talked about, man, there's been some really good trades out there. It's just, it hasn't been as easy as when the market and all stocks are moving in one direction, because then you can just throw darts. We've talked about that, right? Because if you're looking at the market going, well, everything's up, and it's like, no, it's not. No, it is not. Because if it was, commodities would be falling, right? Bios finally caught up, right? Look how shitty these things have been. Look at baby bios. Going nowhere for a long time. Talked about holding down here. Talked about folding up here. Again, it's just, if you want to cherry pick my calls, wrong or right, I guarantee you can make a case to make me look however you want. And if I went and checked your history, again, I wouldn't. I don't care. No one's perfect, man. It is just not easy. People are going to be wrong. People are going to be right. That's just the nature of it all. Yeah, no, I agree. Magnificent Seven. I mean, again, the price. I don't even know how to price these things anymore. They, and this is the thing I think we know for a fact, because people in tech have told me this, is that they know China's going to get banned from buying this stuff, and I think what China's done is propped up the market near term in some of these names just to try to get inventory before the bans go into effect. Yeah, Friday was nuts. I mean, yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you sometimes. Again, mixed signals. I haven't looked at Micron today. Let's look at that thing. Fake breakout again. Okay, we'll see. Trying to think of a good stock. Too bad a lot of these other tech names aren't around. We'll go look at eBay. This thing hasn't done shit for years. Doesn't done shit. What's up, Joe? my man. I'm trying to remember, like in the 2000s, y'all. I don't think. Again, this is all post split. Look at the percentage. I mean, again, I know it says here, but look. I mean, the stock went up 300% in like a couple weeks. 7, 2. I mean, if you do the percentages, I mean, 10 down to 6. I mean, 10% of the days. And that sucks. That obviously this is split stuff. I mean, I guess Cisco. I mean, it's all the same stuff. And now you're looking at, I mean, just pull up AMD, right? Like 90 to 170s. I mean, could it get to 200? I don't know. But I'd be very concerned as a bull with all the volume at the highs. Right? NVIDIA. I mean, it goes from 106 up to 600. That's not sustainable stuff. Now, again, if you shorted and stopped out, you did the right thing. Because if you would have held for 100 points against you, that's not trading. That's like purgatory. I mean, you got to use stops. But it makes sense. FedEx chopping around. We talked about Arrow. I mean, look at these names. Like, we talked about potential peaking and then pulling back to the trend line. Everyone's acts like the market's just fine. Okay, we'll see what happens here. We will see. I'm curious. Look at the housing index. Because everyone, like, yeah, look at that. Are we really breaking out as inventories are blowing out? Okay. If it goes, it goes. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, it's good to be back. It's always good to be back, hanging out with the homies. Will they push NVIDIA? And this is the thing. So, will they push NVIDIA to 1,000? Your guess is as good as mine. But I don't want to chase this action. I don't trust that it will, again, because that's the thing. When the price targets, this is the thing. Go look at all the brokerage price targets like AMD and NVIDIA. At the lows, they'll all downgrade them. And at the highs, they'll all raise their targets and they'll all upgrade. And it's like, they don't, I mean, it's like kind of it's the buddy pass, but it's a joke. It's a joke. I mean, so here's the thing. Will it go to 1,000? I mean, what's NVIDIA's market cap? I'm just curious right now. Let's go look at it. $1.5 trillion. Okay. Okay, we'll see. Your guess is good as mine. 1,000? Again, that's tough to know. That is tough to know. But I do know, like, how many times, and again, if you traded with us with Tesla in 2021, 2022, we talked about, like, nobody was stepping in front of this. But then we were like, No, I agree. Dude, that's the thing. If you dig into some of that stuff, it's like, yeah, their earnings do look fake. Brandon, but you act like that's not known. Like, the market already knows that shit. Again, it's like, once it's known, it's known. I mean, again, I'm not going to pick on my Bitcoin homies, but it's the same logic here. It's known. It's priced in, Brandon. You're not talking about something that's new. And how many times, okay, here's me going to pat myself on the back. How many times did I say, watch Bitcoin when they announce the ETFs are going to pass, this shit's going to fall? Probably 20%. 40, oh, that's 20%. Minimum. Smart money, buying down here. Dumb money's chasing the headlines. Dumb money's chasing the headlines. Now, again, I don't know near term if it's going to drop down. Again, I think 29, 30,000 makes sense. But here you go. You're pumping a headline of something that everybody knows. Everybody knows Meta is going to be purchasing these in the future. Okay. Yeah. Are they trading? I mean, again, that's the point here, right? Your guess is as good as mine. What is the forward PE? Is not too crazy. Trailing PE. Price to sales, a little expensive. Yikes. And again, if you tell me a headline that we didn't know, great. That would get me more interested. But you're telling me something that everybody already knows. When you pump the same headline at the highs, you got to be careful. And again, you clearly don't know what, like, the headline game, because at the lows, they're going to say it's the end of the world. Don't buy it. It's the shittiness. It's poo, whatever. I mean, again, I'm just talking like a child here, but that's essentially what it is. That's what happens every time. As someone, again, who trades gold, loves gold, trading it, again, I think it's very, like, market predictable. Do you guys not remember? Oh, Bitcoin's taken over. Gold's trash. Gold's crap. Yeah, mom calls to sell stocks at the lows. Do you know how many people I got calls from over the last, like, 2 weeks? Like, hey, I've got cash. I want to put it to work. What do you want to do, bud? What do you want to do, Chica? Thinking about buying NVIDIA. Really? I see in that they're going to be selling a lot of chips in the future. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Competition's always coming. Yeah, stock of 2024. It's a fucking joke. Excuse my language. Because it was the stock of 2023, but all the brokerages come out and then name it the stock of 2024. If that isn't the biggest joke to me, that, like, literally, I mean, I think I laughed. Now, I'm not saying, like, it can't go higher, but it's like by the end of the year, I'll be curious to see if this thing is anywhere near that. Could be. Absolutely could be, but we'll see. Yeah, Meta's going to buy this. And then, again, I mean, if you go look at, I've looked at some of the NVIDIA numbers. They look skeptical, to say the least. But again, I can read financial statements, but I'm not going to fight the price, the action. It's not going to fight it. They are working again, but this is the thing. You're not on the inside. Neither of us are. But again, I know for a fact, bank credit tightening, commercial real estate, that's a joke. Residential real estate slowing. You don't know. And then again, it's no different than this extra money being spent. Do you guys remember that the feds, they said they had to sell stocks, right? They were like, oh, we're not going to hold stocks anymore. It's a conflict of interest. And then all that liquidity that came pumping in just right before they unloaded, or as they were unloading, it feels very dynamic and similar at the same time. That's all I can say. And again, what's the market? If we close at the low of the day or near it, oh no. But if you're holding and you're not raising your stops and you're not taking your profits the higher it goes, then don't be surprised if your profits get taken. That's my favorite saying. You don't know anything for sure, but I guarantee at some point, straight line moves are not sustainable. You can always trade around a position. If you want to go long later, sure, do what you got to do. But if you stay all in all the time, it's, again, I have this argument with my Bitcoin friends because they're just like, hodl. I'm like, you donkeys. I'm like, they're not donkeys, they're friends. You guys could have, why is it not updating? You guys could have traded the shit out of this. You could have absolutely been trading the crap out of Bitcoin. So again, Brandon, if you got more words of encouragement about what you think is going to continue to hold up NVIDIA, please tell me all the headlines everybody already knows. Please. Again, and I'm not saying you're going to be wrong. I'm saying just be careful. That's what my point is. At highs, this is what it comes down to. I'll just, again, I don't think you're in the Discord room, and I don't really care. I'm pretty sure I know who you are. You were in, but you got booted. That's fine. Not a big deal. Let's keep this in mind. Just read these slow and steady. All right. Well, I was going to wrap it up 40 minutes, 45 minutes, unless someone has a specific question. I think boot everyone that has a different opinion than you. So this is a way to run an investing Discord. No, Brandon, I know who you are. And the reason why you got booted is because I don't think you, again, what's the best way to describe it? I disagree with the fundamental of your thinking. Period. If you're going to say you're smarter than me, then fine. I don't care, man. I really don't care. It's the nature of the beast. Plenty of, and this is the irony, is that there's plenty of people in here with differing opinions. Plenty of opinions. But people who gamble, who push stuff that I'm like, man, that's just, like, that kind of thinking is so risky. You don't realize how, again, you don't realize how your brain is setting yourself up for failure. Because you're looking to make things simple. And it's not even simple. It's like more like risk, like more risk than's necessary. And it's like, all right, if you trade like that with small money, you're going to trade with that with big money. And you're going to lose. I also have trouble with YouTube alerts. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know exactly who this person is. And I'm sorry you feel that way. Again, you didn't get booted for being bullish. There's people in here who are being bullish. No. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to argue. It's your opinion. Again, I think some people get booted, and I'm not in control of this because your activity. Unless you, again, if you're not active, it boots. It's a bear pity party in there anyway. Okay, is it? Sure, whatever, man. That's cool. Again, I'm a real person. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong. You can believe whatever you like. That's your choice, my friend. That's your choice. That is your choice. If you think I have always been wrong, then that's fine. That's sure thing, bud. And before you say things you see at the high. Okay, yeah, I don't know. You stay along your meta, okay? I hope it works out for you. All right? Like you've got the best risk reward up here. It's good. It's good trade. It's gonna be great. NVIDIA, just ride this out until 1,000. Again, if needed. That's what the consensus is. I'm not picking on PVC. I've seen the same thing. Everyone's saying 1,000. It's kind of like when not Netflix, but Tesla was ripping. Here comes 1,000. It's like, okay. And again, at the highs and at the lows, this is the kind of sentiment you get. I mean, at the lows, I'm going to get people who are like, you're an idiot for buying. And I know at the highs, I'm going to get people who are going, you're an idiot for shorting. So thank you for confirming that again. And again, if you're telling me this has just been an easy, like amazing market, then okay, that's your beliefs. That's fine. We traded this. I mean, it hasn't been a straight line move. Look at this. We talked about the double bottom retesting out here. Talked about there's going to be some rise. Talked about some drop. Surprised it ripped this high. Waited. You get stopped out. Some names are working better than others. Again, the names that weren't, cast away. The ones that were working, great. I don't know how to tell you else how to do this other than just to be honest. And again, I said in this Discord room, I wouldn't care if there's only 15 or 20 people in here. Again, if you have ideas that I don't agree with and it don't make sense, yeah, and you're trading off of MACD and RSI and all this crap that, again, that I know for a fact is just follows price action, then again, what it's based on the style that I'm trying to teach. If you want to argue with it, that's fine. And there's other people who don't agree and they can do other trades. I don't care. I really don't care. But when they're just like, all right, whatever. Again, if you ask for my help and then you ignore me, that's fine. If you don't ask for my help and you ignore me, I don't care. So what do you want? So again, here, I'll end this. What do you want to do? What do you want to feel better? You want me to apologize that we disagree? Because if I had to do this to every person I know, again, it's just the reality. It's some people are going to win. Some people are going to lose at times. And pride before the fall, whatever you want to call it. If you feel like you got to say things and come in here and say whatever you want, you have the free. Again, I don't ignore people. No, I think a lot of people see the differences in things, but it is what it is. Not booted for ideas. Where is yeah, she was basically spot on. What's her name? I can't remember. Not booted at all. Said volatility would be suppressed. It's like, give her credit. And so many people don't agree with all the time. But make a point on your stock, but don't tell me about headline shit. Again, that's what bothers me. If you're selling me on a stock because of headlines, I'm typically contrarian because that's what works. At the highs and the lows, the headlines come out. They're traps. That's what you see. That's literally what you see more times than not. So we'll see what happens. Again, market's going to do what it's going to do. And I apologize if people got booted. If you want back in, again, I said this all the time. Just be active. But if you want to pick fights and you want to get mad about things, and I'm like, I wouldn't do that trade, that's fine. But you have to earn respect, in my opinion. If you want to post in the friends trading group, go. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. This is for everybody. But if posting in my main chat, the money making room, and it's stuff I don't agree with, I'm like, no, take this. And again, it's not like whether I agree or not. I'm like, I don't think the logic makes sense here. Then that's just me. If you want to create your own Discord room, go right ahead. And if you want it to be like stock twits where it's like unadulterated, just complete randomness, go right ahead. I just know my friends and family and people I know look at this stuff. Just rather keep it clean. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate it. Again, Randy, you're entitled to your opinions. I don't have any problem with anybody. I don't care. Meaning, like, you probably don't care what I think in the end. Hopefully you don't. But if you take it personal, market's just not personal. Like, that's why I'm not going to hold on to angers and frustrations with people. It just is what it is. The market's going to do what it's going to do. People are going to do what they're going to do. In the end, I have love for everybody. If I don't like what someone's posting, I kick them out, or again, moderators do their job. I'm not going to sit here and worry about it. I mean, if you guys actually see, it's the storage channel. You can see it right here. People get booted constantly because they don't comment. They come in, they don't say anything. And so it just naturally kicks them out for inactivity. Sorry if that happened to you. All right. Talk to you guys soon. We got to do the daily market review. Peace.